There's nothing like the feeling of an expansion launch day. Let's go! Alright, here I am in Orgrimmar, about to start an expansion on a Horde character for the very first time. Oh, this is really exciting. It's a big scene in front of Gromash Hold. 1 minute to go. Tons of characters everywhere. This is great. There's no boat to wait for. Okay, but what are we waiting for? Like, what does kick off midnight? Oh, well, we'll find out. Okay. And 6 o'clock. Okay, it is time. And oh my, I'm now getting 1 frame per second. Holy cow. What is going on? Okay, all right. Hey, look, I'm getting rested XP for the first time in a while. That's exciting, I guess. Yeah. Where do I start the expansion? Okay. There's a spotlight over there. Oh, nope, that's not it. Somebody just put a spotlight down. Okay, all right. Well, there's a giant pile of people next to the broken tusk. What are they doing? It's just a pile of people. I don't see anything. Oh, and there's clearly a multi-boxing hunter with identical sets of pets causing a ruckus. Okay. I'm gonna walk around a bit. Head towards the portal room. Oh! A quest just popped at 6:12. 12 minutes into the expansion, okay. To find the nearest flickering image of Liadrin, which is where the giant pile of people next to the broken tusk was. All right. Let all the Brutosaurs disappear. Let all the hunter pets disappear. And what is left? Go figure. Glowing images of Liadrin and friends. Finally a question mark to talk to somebody, to get a quest, to set off on a new adventure. Took a few minutes, but here we go. You have entered the Solo Queue, a monthly podcast about adventuring alone in the world of Warcraft. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Gagne. Welcome to Solo Queue episode 37. 37, they keep adding up. I don't even know how that happens, but I'm very excited to be sitting back here at the microphone. It has been a little bit of a slog to stay near my computer, near Warcraft, near this bloggy thing, this monthly-ish, whatever this is, podcast. And I'm excited to not be alone and to welcome back for the third time, but for the second time, for us to talk about the state of the world of Warcraft. Welcome back, Gershom. Thank you for joining me. How the hell are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi. I am really, really glad to be back with. What did we say on the very first time?
The
solo queue together. No, the solo queue together crew. You remember that?
Yes.
That was back in the day.
My goodness. Yeah.
No, thank you for having me back. Thank you very much. That was it's a pleasure. I know we did kind of get this one off the ground quicker than we usually do. You were just kind of like, you want to come record? And I was like, yeah, we've done this before now.
Third time's the charm. We're here. This is a good time. I think originally we were going to try and do this in February, but that delays, whatever. I've been super busy, and I think the delay was good because now we can talk about a little bit about the War Within, but also we've actually played some of Midnight, and so I think we have a lot more to talk about than we would have a couple weeks ago.
It's a good spot.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I was gonna tell you one more funny thing before you go. Yo, fuck that Lemix timer. Fuck that Lemix timer, dog. I stopped looking at that thing on like day 99, brother. Like, are you kidding me? And then you still have to do the math anyway between the time zones and the realm and the da-da-da. It doesn't like calibrate to your computer. It doesn't calibrate to your account. It's not that. It's not like a personal timer. It's just still Blizz telling you, well, once you go do the math, maybe. And you got fucked hard on that. Pardon my mouth. I know you don't cuss as much.
Blah. Yeah.
Bro,
no,
not to like tear up old ground and shit, because the way you opted in to use the lust noise, to use like the heroism noise for the hunter too. I heard that especially, or maybe the warrior uses the same one, but it goes like rah 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 rah, and I'm like, oh shit, my boy's bad now. That's rough. I'm sorry.
I'm still bummed about that. I am over it. I promise everyone. But wow, that was a big bummer. It really was. But
did you even try like reaching out to them, or are you just preemptively cutting your losses? Oh, you did?
I did. I put up a post on Blue Sky and tagged the CS crew, and they responded pretty quickly. But they responded with I forget what they said, but it was like
tough luck.
Yeah, it's over. It's like okay.
So this is like, okay. Well, not for me, it isn't, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess for you it is. That reminds me of something similar when it's like probably user error, and it just really comes back to bite you in the butt. Like when I was, this is kind of like a side tangent. It's WoW adjacent. So a couple years ago, I went to Austin to visit Ventolis, back when he was still co-hosting on Thrall's Balls, and we had like, I got down there, I got to Austin, I went on the train, and apparently like I had to like not qualify, like confirm my trip back, and I hadn't. I thought like I went, so like obviously I'm coming back and it's a round trip ticket. Apparently I had to like go in my email while you're on vacation, because everyone does that, and then fucking confirm my trip. So I'm literally standing there in like 108-degree August Austin waiting to come back to Chicago, and they're like, you don't have a ticket. And I'm like, my ass. And they're like, we'll get you on the next one in like 3 days. I'm like, bro, I've only been here for 2 days. I have work in 2 days. I don't have 3 days. I'm diabetic. I have kids. I have a dog. I gotta go home. So they found me a seat. Like there was like an extra seat, or maybe some staff member gave up their seat or some shit.
Maybe it was your
seat.
For
like the first few hours I sat in the kitchen, because they're like, there's no seats. And I'm like, my ass, I'm gonna be on this train. I said, y'all put me with the luggage. I don't give a fuck. I'm going home, right? So I finally get on the train. So I go and I complain high hell to them. I use ChatGPT and everything to help me write it and not cuss and sound professional and all this good stuff. And they basically gave me the finger back, like double size. They're like, well, you should have checked your email. And I'm like, yeah, but you see how that doesn't really actually work. Like, it was a very similar situation, I feel like. Like, yeah, when you look at it, A plus B equals C. Yeah, I fucked up. I should have confirmed my trip. But really, did you have to make it that hard to do, to deal with?
Yeah.
And then it still sucked for me. I didn't get anything out of it. I didn't get any kind of comment. I'm like, can y'all, like, I had to sit in the kitchen. I paid for this ticket. It's not like I was trying to get on the train for free or scam you guys. I paid. They didn't give me any money back, or no points on my account, no travel credit, no nothing. I was like, y'all bogus. Bogus. Anyway.
So we own what is ours, but boy, the world is cruel, and I guess that's the moral of our stories, right?
I guess. Being that there is a moral to any story.
Right. Let's start with looking back just a little bit, just for a few minutes. We just finished The War Within. We just finished the first part of this big World Soul Saga episode. What did you like about it? What did you love about it? What was good with The War Within? What are your good memories of that as we leave it behind?
Okay, I think everyone's pretty well aware of the fact that my favorite feature was Delves. I could not believe when they talked about that at BlizzCon, and I still remember doing the post-BlizzCon episode on Thrall's Balls with Wooly, and he had forgotten to mention them. I think like a lot of people were like, this is weird, just some other weird feature. We already have dungeons. Like, I don't think it was very quite clear-cut what they were, and I ended up loving them. I mean, obsessed. I was so glad that I had gear to upgrade because I was like, let's just go do more delves. And now you can get housing credit for doing that. And I was just in delves all the time. I cannot freaking wait for those labyrinth delves, but we're talking about War Within first. So before we get to midnight, I guess we'll do War Within. So I did like the delves a lot. I'm going to look at my notes because you're right. You do like jump around. Let me see. Oh, I do. And these were like the main feature, right? I love the earthen. I love the earthen. And I have another funny story about to tell you why I really, really like the earthen. So, like, not only is it cool to go back in the lore and figure out, like, all this cool stuff, and they're doing a really great job tying it into, like, the Titan tech, and, like, I'm so excited for all of that. And it's all underground, and Azeroth, it's just bitchin'. Like, I love that. But the funny story is that the earthen do exist before this expansion. And they exist, as far as I can tell, I'm not sure where else. They're probably everywhere, and I'm being dumb. But the first place I ever heard of them was in one of the War of the Ancients books.
Oh, yeah.
Which is dumb, because if you've never read it, then it's like, who are these guys? And Blizz is famous for that. Like, why do you have to read the book to understand part of the game? It seems like in this WoW 2.0-ish thing that they're trying to do, it seems like they're trying to eliminate that a bit. And we'll talk about that when we talk about Blood Ties. I feel like Blood Ties into the game a lot more than some of the older ones do. But as far as War of the Ancients, I pop quizzed Bent once on a trivia we were having where I was like, which race was not present during the War of the Ancients? And I was like, something, Night Elves did something, blah, 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 blah. And I said, dwarves. And he goes, is this a trick question? They were all there. And I'm like, no, dwarves weren't there. And he goes, yes, they were. Yes, they were. We start arguing. And he goes, no, those were the earthen. And he tries to tell me they're the same thing. And I said, no, they're not, because in the book, Ronan calls an earthen a dwarf, and the earthen gets mad. He's like, I don't know what weird word that is you're using, but that's not what I'm called. I don't know I've never heard that word before. So it's kind of like the Night Warrior thing. People were like, oh, why'd you retcon Night Warrior into Shadowlands or whatever? Have you heard that dumb shit flying around on the internet back then? And then and then that's in a book too, where she chides Neltharion. He's like, wow, I had no idea you could kick ass as well as, like, send up some prayers. And she was like, yeah, do you really think I'm just chilling all the time? Hell no, I fight for Mother Moon, too. And she's all decked out, and he's like, yeah, he's kind of, it turns him on a little bit, you can tell. But, I mean, that shit does happen. So, yeah, so I do like the Earthen. I think it's cool we finally get to see them. Did you know that Speaker Brinth was the same voice as Draka? I found that out at the beginning of the expansion.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, what's her name? Deborah Wilson? I'm gonna miss.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think she's this black. She was a former comedian. She was on Mad TV, and she left for like them being assholes for like racial reasons. It was all them. They were awful to her. But like she left, and she started doing more of like her theater thing and her activism thing. But it's the same lady who does Draka's voice. She does Speaker Brinth too, which is cool because it showcases a lot of talent there. I would say they sound nothing alike. So that's pretty cool. What else did I like?
Did you like the story?
I like this story. Do you like this story?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I do.
I liked it. That's probably my other favorite part is Manduin. I liked Manduin. I wish we saw a little more of him towards the end. I feel like we did that with like Hallowfall. And then kind of started shipping him and Lothar. And she's like, see, you can do it. And they're holding hands. He's like, yeah. And then he's like, I can heal these guys now. Well, we're going into what I'm assuming is the Cosmic Disco War that Taliesin and Evital talked about all those years ago. This has got to be it, right? So I'm figuring your boy is practically made out of pure light, and the light, is it still kind of ghosting him? But is it because of the Lightwood? Is it because of Azeroth crying out in pain still? Is Turallion going through something similar? Because we'll talk about that guy, but I do like the story. I wish we'd seen a little more of Anduin at the end. I wish that they hadn't left us hanging with the Aronaar so much, because I know while I was playing War Within, that bothered me. I'm like, who are these people? Yeah. And then she just disappeared. Well, it turns out she went to the surface against her family's wishes and whatever, and now she's going to go up there and come back and show you and all this stuff. So I'm about to start that, by the way. I think we said that in pre-production. I'm about to start that.
Yeah, and I think we're both in the same place. It's easy for me to just hop in and enjoy the ride. Like, this is the story, and after the fact, I can kind of quibble and say, oh, well, that could be better, or that could be worse.
I don't tend to pick apart as I go either. I tend to immerse and kind of just disassociate and like enjoy it for what it is.
And ultimately, you know, we're in a 21-year story, you know, 30 years if you kind of go even further back, and we know we have a lot more story coming. And I guess because of that, I'm not even at the end of an expansion, I'm not super excited to stop and tear stuff apart. Because ultimately, I enjoy all of it. So yeah, some parts are better than others, but I'm enjoying it.
Would you say, yeah, for sure, that we do agree. Would you say that this little bit faster pace that they're going at is lending yourself to like enjoying the story more because it moves faster and you don't have to wait as long? Like, I found that there was a little less disconnect this time, like a lot less downtime. I did feel a little crunch toward the end. I was kind of like really barreling through some delves to like finish, and I think I had like a piece of gear that I didn't finish or something. It was like maybe two or three pieces of gear that I didn't quite like finish up. But overall, I do like this. I like the story. I think it's going to go well, and I think the faster pace is helping. I think we're going to go right into this story. And so far, I don't feel like a whole lot of disjointedness. I mean, I think at this point, I'm pretty much going to call this like WoW 2.0, because the way they've done Silver, like, wow. I'm sure we'll talk about that. Like, I'm still lost in that joint. Like, I just kind of know where the portal room is and where the flight path is and where this guy hangs out. And it's like, it's right there in the middle somewhere. I haven't even bought a painting yet. I don't know where she is.
Well, let's hop into Midnight, and I think that's a good place to start with, you know, the Silver Moon. Sure. You know, all of the cinematics and the intro questing and all of that stuff that sort of kicks things off. What did you think of that? And I think that builds into what you were saying about the story just kind of keeps continuing. How did you like all of the intro stuff?
I was really... Yeah, the cinematics, those cinematics always bite me. I've been a cinematic kid since like Warcraft 3. Like, I used to watch those goofy talking head weird cinematics, 8 polygons. Like, there's been times when like I didn't have like account time back in the day, and I've told people I would like listen to the soundtrack and go back and watch cinematics just to like involve myself in it, in like the lore of it. So these cinematics, they deliver. I can't believe. I mean, which one am I thinking of? The Arator one, where he's fighting and Xalatath's like taunting him. We were talking about that on Thrall's Balls, and it's like, dude, like when that shit first started, I was like, is Chris Metzen like in the cinematics now? Like, what is this? Is this a real person? Oh, just kidding, it's not. Why do you have like sweat on you, bro? Like, it's wild. It is wild, because everyone was like, ooh, Manduin has stubble on his chin. Remember, like the War Within, and now you're like, boo, that sucks. No, I want to see Arator's lip sweat. I want to see the bead of sweat on his lip. You're gonna see it. It is so good, and they all deliver. They're all good, and they definitely had me pumped. Did you find that to be the experience, or did you experience it like a different way?
It's funny. There's been a whole flurry of cinematics, right? There was the like the animated ones that came out before, and then I remember finding the full, you know, CGI whatever I actually found it on the launcher. I was playing at launch of early access, and then I looked over at my Blizzard launcher. I'm like, wait a minute, there's a cinematic. So I actually found it there before I found it in game, but I found it in game like 5 minutes later because it's pretty early on, and yeah, it's pretty intense. It's really amazing.
What did you think of the Alonz's Foul one? Speaking of like a different animation style, like what did you think of that? I
liked that one a lot. I thought that was really good.
Because they've done that before too. You like that a lot?
Yeah. It just, again, adds a lot more depth to things and little stuff to put in the back of your head as you then go off and interact and quest with all these characters. You know a little bit more about their dynamics and a little bit about how Liadrin and Foul have a history. I think all of that is just great depth.
How she's a tiny bit racist deep down.
Well,
inside.
You know, when you got to kill your father. Yeah, all of that nuance and depth. Yeah, is so great. A lot of hype to get things going. Then you jump in, and that first cinematic is really early on when you first find Arator. in the battle. The very first, like, Turalian's like, hey, here's some quests, go beat some dudes up, but also find my kid. When you go and find him off to the left, there's an option to just hear that cinematic. Which,
maybe I skipped it.
It's easy to do because it's just...
Is that the one that I had heard? So someone, sorry to interrupt, I had heard something flying around where, like, there's a cinematic that's in the game, but you don't see the whole thing. And this might have been that, where they or do they show you the whole thing?
I thought they showed the
it's
whole thing.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I missed it. I must have accidentally hit escape, or maybe it started and I was like, I've seen this before. But that's not like me. Like, I tend to watch them. That's really odd.
Well, I think this isn't really a criticism. I just think it's something they could do a little bit better, because I think it is relatively easy when you're in questing mode of you click on a person with, the exclamation point. You're like, okay, I'm here for a quest. Do me the quest and let me keep going. I wish that they could indicate a little bit better if there were a cinematic or a video or a stay a while and listen. I think they've done great with the stay a while and listen.
They did that with the stay a while and listens. They have the speech bubble above them. And there's so many damn icons and stuff on your map. Like, can we just get like a little camera above the head too?
Yeah.
Like, I have a movie for you to watch.
Instead
of the play movie that's only red and super small. Right. So you could totally go over it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
And even the stay a while and listens, because that speech bubble thing is also there even when there's not. Like, if somebody just has some dialogue that they're gonna give you in text.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I've noticed. I keep seeing it. I'm like, I'm clicking. I hope I don't miss one of these stay a while and listens. But a lot of times there is no stay a while and listen. It's just they have a dialogue box, which I
haven't run into that.
Yeah, and maybe it could be some add-on stuff that is janking up the thing. That's certainly possible.
Something I like is lending as far as, like, that's weird with the stay a while and listens, but I was noticing in this kind of, so Johnny is always really famous for saying, like, read everything, read every plaque, read everything. There's icons on your mini map now. Yeah. That say, like, there's a book over here to go read. That is bitchin'. Please continue to do that. I take them all away. I don't give a shit. Just give me the stay a while and listens and show me where the books are at, finally. Because I remember I got the achievement back in, like, TBC or Wrath to go read, like, all the books. Like, you had to go around Azeroth and fly, and there were, like, these early videos about how to find them. That took me days, maybe weeks back in the day to do. And I have that achievement still, but, like, it's kind of cool now. Like, it's cool to say you have the achievement, but it's also, like, it would be cool to just say I went and read those books, Yeah. And people have talked about putting books in housing, which would be cool, but that's, like, a whole other... That would
be good. Yeah, it's like, hey, here's the story. Here's the optional story bits. You don't need it if you just want to max your gear and go do a thing. But I like that. Yeah, it's on the map now. It's not, you've got to be super inquisitive and lucky and running around grabbing everything. Like, here's our story. I think that's good. How do you approach questing? Like, when at the start of an expansion, I feel like this is the part of the game where almost everybody plays solo, because I don't think a lot of people do like the initial questing in groups. So what's your mindset when you jump in? How do you approach it all?
So I like to do the whole campaign. I'm really slow. Like, I know I've mentioned before, I haven't even started, like, Harandar, whatever it's called. Harandar, I think. I just finished up Zolaman today. So I did Silver Moon and Zolaman. I'm very much into campaign only. I feel like I get tied up in side quests that are funny. Like, I started doing some in Zolaman today. It's like, I'll go teach this guy to, like, dance around the bonfire. And I'm like, that's fun, but I also need to go talk to her brother first and, like, see what's up with that guy. Because that was in the back of my head. Like, I was getting a cup of coffee and I'm like, oh, yeah, what's up with this guy? Go back to your computer and see, like, why is he all sad over here? Like, and I knew I was going to get the story, too. So not to go too far off the path, they did really good with the story beat of that and the pieces. that you really kind of figure out. Like, at first it's hard to tell. Are they brother and sister? Are they just tribal brother and sister? Are they cousins? They obviously have a mutual uncle, so you're wondering about that. And then it's revealed that she became leader very young. Who's her mom? They mention her mom like once, and it's like, oh, their mom died. You find that out. So I'm like, damn. Everything that they kind of mention, if you read the quest, which is really important to do the first time. Sorry if you don't. I don't know why you're playing the game. Unless you're just kidding yourself out for some reason to go look cool or raid. Maybe you want a mythic raid and you don't give a shit about story. But if you do, read the quest tags at least once, because all those pieces were in there. And then when you get to Zul'Jin and he's mad about it, you're like, damn, that really... I kind of sat there with him for a minute, like, yeah, I'll go back to the party in a second, but that's pretty heavy. I can see why that feels heavy. So that's why I like to do the campaign before the side quests. And the stay a while and listens and the reading. So that's probably why it takes me a while. And I won't say, like, I RP walk places, but, like, I have to give a shout out to, I think it was AMR, and I don't know if it was Cash or Jibs, but they said something about I started to fly into Silver Moon, and then I was like, what are you doing? And I turned around and went back and started, like, RP walking across the bridge. And I'm like, hell yeah, because I did the same thing. I came up on that, and I didn't start flying. I just jumped down, and I'm like, all right, I think I walked mounted. Like, I mounted to go, like, 100% speed, but I was stopping. I was looking up, looking around, definitely walking across that. And I did something similar last night. I was playing, and I got to fly through what would have originally been that loading screen after like Tranquillian Ghost, what used to be the Ghostlands, and you would go into Eastern Plaguelands. Now I was like looking at the map, and I was in Silver Moon, and I was like, wait, Light's Hope Chapel is way closer to this dungeon.
It's right there. Yeah.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? So I'm looking at my screen like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It's just a forest. It's like a path, and it goes down. But I was like super excited. I think it took a screenshot. Like, there used to be a loading screen here, now it's not. So like, that was exciting. That's unique to this expansion though, which I like a lot. I like when they drop like big, cool things like that on us. But as far as questing style, campaign, side quests. I like to explore. I usually save dungeons for last. I've gotten really into just doing follower dungeons, even though they take longer. I don't really bother with groups anymore, especially now that delves count as weekly content. So when they start the Great Vault, which will be next week, right? I think we'll talk about that.
I think
we'll
so,
start getting like systems back. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, quest, campaign quests, side quests, all the exploring, all the RP walking, all the reading. And I guess that's it. And then dungeons, like, once for story. I think, like, follower, maybe I'll do them, like, one more time to get the achievement. I think you don't get any achievements for doing follower ones. And you don't get any gear. I got, like, a piece of decor today and some gold or something from the one. It doesn't give you anything. I think to get gear or to get the achievement, you gotta go. So I'll go one more time. I'll, like, hero do it and just get, like, a weekly activity anyway. Just one more time to see the story or whatever. But... yeah, and then a lot of delves at the end, too, because delves have their own kind of fun little stories that I think lend a lot of personality to things that are going on in the game. So I don't know what we're going to see this time, but, like, to go back to the War Within, it was like, I feel like we learned a lot more about the Kobold. I think we learned a lot more about all the major races that you interact with by doing the delves. The Nerubian delves were weird. We definitely saw some, like, interesting things going on there, how they were always close to, like, what I would assume was, like, the Black Blood. Like, why are the Nerubians all down in, like, the Ringing Deeps for with the goblins? So, like, just the delves. I guess the dungeons do the same thing, but if you don't do dungeons or you don't like them, then delves are, like, the way to go, too. So I definitely wrap it up by doing a lot of delves, and I do those in a similar way, where, like, at least once or twice I'll go through very slowly. Every corner, I'll kill everything. I don't just blitz through those either. But I guess that would be the long and the short of it. Just taking my time, enjoying it, and just, immersing myself in it, really. What about you?
I remember in the War Within, I chose to go zone by zone. I'm like, all right, I'll do the campaign, but I'm going to do the side quest too, and I'm going to try and clean up each zone. And ultimately, I got frustrated. I didn't get through it very quickly. I would stop halfway through and then get to the next zone. And this time I thought, nope, I'm just going to do, just like you said, I'm just going to do campaign questing. I'm not going to do anything else. And that's been good, partly because I don't have a lot of time right now, so I've been focused just on the campaign. the story makes a lot more sense because you're just progressing step by step by step the way they kind of want you to.
Yeah. I think the way that they've kind of made the campaign like way more succinct is a great, like, I think it's going really well. And I think that I had heard you mentioning, I think on the Seeking Acceptance episode, which I'm still working through and is really great, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
You had talked about how you thought that and I agree with you, and I know you had mentioned this in the notes too, that the pre-patch event was very like lackluster, forgettable, kind of dry, just predictable and strange. So I had my own trouble with that with the timer, so it was even more boring because I was just sitting around not even knowing when the bosses were coming. And it was one of those things where it's like you can't really do anything else because it didn't make like a big noise, or like you basically had to have the game open. Like maybe there was an add-on somewhere or something that would go like boing or do something when the bosses would come, but it just never did anything. It would be like so-and-so begins to spawn, and then you open your map and then it's there. So so it was glitchy for me, and then also it was boring. But I think this is a good place to mention that I think that approach to the campaign is better. I think it works. I think keeping things succinct and keeping things basic and even, like, dare I say it, easier to do.
Yeah.
Works really well with a campaign, especially for like the 9-to-5ers, the WoW for the rest of us, the me's, the you's, the people with injured wives and teenage daughters and jobs and they're firefighters and secretaries, and some of them are in the military. Like, you never know what you're gonna get, and then you're dealing with an aging player base. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. It's a 20-year-old game. It's a 35-year-old franchise. There's people like me who've been playing it from the beginning. I'm 43. I don't see, well, I'm not saying I need baby mode, but I'm saying it happens. And I don't see what the big deal is. Turn it off. So, like, as far as that's, like, if you don't like it, don't use it, But as far as, like, the campaign being a little easier to do, I like that. It seemed like they were going for that with the pre-patch, and they didn't hit it. It was just already too boring and too short, where you're like, ooh, Romoth and Umbric had a fight, and that was all. Like, that's what you said. You're like, other than them standing there, like, what was that? And the story, the short story was better. Way better. Like, honestly, there goes another one where, like, reading the story was gonna make that, like, way better. Then you come to the game and you're like, huh, why? Like, why you hate each other so much? Go read the story. It was fun. But yeah, I think it lended itself to the campaign better, that kind of play style. But I know you don't like that box checky feeling. I don't mind the box checky feeling in the campaign. I guess that's what I'm getting at. It didn't seem so bad. It seemed very easy to pop open my log and be like, cool, I still need to go talk to Zul'Jara. And everything else is kind of like in stasis till then, which is fine. I didn't feel like there were a billion other more things to go do. Like, I felt like it was easier to separate those side quests than it has been in the past. I always felt like side quests ended up, like, some of them wouldn't open until you were done with the campaign. Like weird different things like that. These really seem to almost be like their own thing. You can go do them pretty much right away. I think there's a couple that had to open, but, like, they opened really quickly as well. It wasn't like end of the campaign. Now there's all these extra quests for you to go do. Legion was good at that. Legion was way too good at that. And when I say good, I mean I hated that system. I hated that you had to complete the Suramar Lore Master, and then it's like, go do this extra one that has like 18 fucking side quests, and it's not the side quest. It's not Sojourner. I got Lore Master and Sojourner. There's another one for Suramar. Bro, it's too much. Get the kibosh on that. It's too much. I can't. So I feel like finally they're coming around to a more succinct, easier to do. I keep using the scare quotes, but it's fun, and it makes it easy to keep track of. I think it makes it, like, faster. I like it, obviously. I'm not complaining about it, but, like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's admitting that if you want challenge in the game, you're probably headed towards Mythic Dungeons, Mythic Plus Dungeons, you're probably raiding, and so I think it's okay that the challenge is there and isn't in all the questing and just getting through that campaign. And that, you're right, it makes it easier to just follow through the story. I think you're right, I'm enjoying this story, not because of the way the story is written, but the mechanics of following from quest to quest and from quest area to quest area. I think that's just easier to stick with. And by ignoring...
Keeping track of it is very, like... That's where that, like, not to overdo your word, but the box checkiness comes in a little more handy in, like, a big zone like that with a lot to do. Yeah. That could feel overwhelming, but it doesn't this time. It feels much less overwhelming, and I like that.
And ignoring all of the side quests, even in my head, I'm like, that's okay, because this is all big stuff. We're talking about big battles and big threats and big things going on. It feels weird if I put that on pause and go skin a few bears because somebody's cold.
Right.
You know, like, I'm okay with that. And in my head, I'm going to come back with other characters and do all of that side questing. But
like me getting distracted by the fire dancing. Right. I really wanted to go talk to Zul'Jin instead, and I knew that's what I needed to do entirely. No, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, I'm looking forward to almost doing it again, but going into all the side quests. But this time, I just want to go through the story. I want to get through the story. And, you know, we mentioned kind of life stuff getting in the way. It just happens to be that at this expansion launch, I don't have a lot of time, and I haven't had a lot of time. And I'm not even all the way through Zul'Aman yet. I think I'm close. I'm on that last little stretch, but have not gotten to Aronaar yet. Have not gotten to the Void Storm yet. So
nope.
I can't imagine. I'd still be in Eversong Woods if I was doing all the side questing, and I would feel hopelessly behind. And
it gave me like a sense of like, I felt overwhelmed today. I was in Silvermoon for whatever to turn something in, and they're like, go to Fairbreeze Village and so you can go start Arena. So I'm like, cool, so I'll go over there. But as I was flying over, I opened my map and I'm like,
so many exclamation points.
Holy shit, you could get to 90 overnight just doing those. 100%. There's
Absolutely.
No way.
Yep.
So that's gonna be fun. It'll be fun. I think the way that they're tying those together is going a lot better.
Yeah, and it fits I think what their model for the game is, that there are so many different ways to play this. And if you are like, I don't really, I enjoy that there's a story, but I don't really care, and I really want to get to gearing and vaults and whatever, you can do that, and you can do it pretty quickly, and you don't have to worry about the side quests. That's great. You know, no one's making you get Lore Master before you step into a Mythic Key. And so that's great. You can play a lot of different ways and honor a lot of different play styles. And so I think that's great. I think the only problem comes with anyone who thinks I should be able to do everything in this game all within a reasonable amount of time and with a reasonable amount of ease, and I should be able to collect everything, and I should be able to get everything.
Who says?
No. No.
No. You said no. It seems like a very stressful way to live.
Yes, and I think that was the moment. I mentioned it about a while back, but that's when I was able to get rid of FOMO, because there is so much in the game. There are so many mounts. There's so many pets. There's so many lore master things. There's so many achievements. There's so many, like, I don't, it's not physically possible for a normal human to get all of it. And great, if you don't have to work and you have the time, that's awesome. And you can pump for all of that stuff. But if you're a kind of a normal human existing in this world and even still devoting 20 or 30 hours a week, you're never going to get to everything. So I don't feel bad about not getting to everything anymore.
Yeah, no. There's always something that comes across like my news feed or something somewhere, and I never know if these are fake news, but I see them, where it's like, the last one I saw was like, I think like a Korean player or Chinese player, where they had gotten like every achievement in the game. You see those sometimes where it's like, I got every single achievement, and like you start thinking about that, that's a lot. It's a lot. Like you're going through mythic things and weird old school, like, not to go too far off the subject, there's an achievement from 10-man Wrath of the Lich King that I can't get, ICC. 10-man. I proc too fast and the boss just goes down and none of the tricks on YouTube work. Nothing works. I'm too good. It's too old. I stripped down naked. I went up and tried to punch the ghost in the face and still killed it before I could get, I can't get it. And it's tied to a mount. I can't get it anymore. I would have to take an alt. Gershom can't do it. None of my, it would have to be someone playing Wrath. It would be weird. I don't think, that's one of those things that's just never going to happen again. But, I feel you on that one, getting all the achievements. Nope, not my bag. I'd go back to my house or to the storyline or something like that.
So one of the things that is a big part of this patch, of course, or expansion, is revamping existing zones. Not the, hey, here's a brand new thing. Silvermoon City and Eversong Woods, obviously existing zones. What do you think of them? How did you like the treatment of them?
I cannot imagine how it used to look. That's I keep looking at my map. We'll go out to Fairbreeze Village. I sat there for about 20 minutes looking at, this is the first night I opened it, the first night I went there. Yeah. And I opened the map and I'm like, well, there's Murder Row, and there's the Royal Walk, and I know, but it was done so well that I did not, I don't think revamp is the word. I don't know what the word is. You're the teacher, but I don't know how to describe this. This is a rebirth of it, or some sort of, it's a 2.0. It's no other way to describe it, really, to me. I still have trouble getting my bearings, and I still don't feel like it's even the same area. I'm blown away by it, for lack of, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm blown away by it.
I agree 100%. And the fact that it is a complete rebuild is the one thing that bothers me a little bit. And this is a little bit, not a lot. The city is amazing. Silvermoon is, that space now is incredible. I think this should be, all capital cities going forward should get this scale of improvement.
Yeah.
The one thing that bothers me just a little bit is the fact that it does seem like they just literally wiped the map and started from scratch. And in walking around, I don't feel.
You feel like a different. Yeah, I get it.
The eastern side of the map was not destroyed by Arthas when he rolled through. So I figured I would walk through Murder Row, or I would walk through some of those parts and be like, this is the same. They've up-resed it. They've, the people in game have improved it, but it's still here. I don't think any of it is, quote, still there. I think all of it's just completely wiped and started over.
I haven't been around all the ways to look. I've just been to the beginning where the inn is, and then I went and did the quest, and they said explore, and like I said, my bearings are the portal room, the flight guy. I haven't gone to any of the vendors. I don't think I haven't been to the dungeon yet. I know there's the Murder Row dungeon. I haven't done it. Again, I probably do it in follower later or something. But overall, I like the experience. But it's funny how you said every city should get that treatment. Well, two things. One is not to keep mentioning Cash and Jibs, but this is 2.0. So years ago when the 2.0 thing started flying around, it was well, how are they going to wrap up one and do the other? And what is it going to entail? That was the general question. And fans and devs alike, I think, were what is this? This is a what are we going to do? What does it involve? What does it entail? Is it going to be a new game? Are we going to wrap up the World of Warcraft? And no, what we ended up getting was the World Soul Saga. And this revamp or this rebirth of these cities, which I'm sure maybe, but I guess my point is that I don't know if they're going to do that to every city, because one of the funniest things about all of this is how would they get all that done? And a lot of people are well, they were behind the loading screen. They were behind the loading screen. What are you talking about? What happened though, bro? You can't do that to Lordaeron. It would have to be they would have to show it because Lordaeron is still there. Silvermoon was always kind of like, so the joke is like, oh wait, they were behind the loading screen building everything again. What are you talking about? Like, no one knew what they were doing the whole time. So yeah, I don't know how they would work that into doing it as much in other places. But for Silvermoon and for this, it worked. Where I did feel the disconnect a little more that you mentioned is like the fact that like Zolamon's there at all. Because it really wasn't. It was the Ghostlands, and the raid was there in the dungeon or whatever. Definitely the raid, because I got the bear.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, like, that doesn't feel the same. Story-wise, it makes sense. Like, the low Aragon, Arthas rolled through. In retrospect, it all makes sense why it is that way now. I mean, why it was that way then. But now when I look at it, I'm like, neat, Zolamon's back, but where did it come from? Did it just rise up out of the Ghostlands? Like, Zul'jin's dead, the Loa just came back, it was the Ghostlands, and regardless of whether you're behind a loading screen or not, it was a little nonsensical. But if you can detach from that and just say, cool, it looks nice, which is what I'm trying to tend to do, because if I pick it to pieces, I'm going to pick it to pieces all day. So once again, I'm just going to immerse and enjoy it for what it is. Cool. It is what it is now, because like I said, if I tear it apart, I'm going to be tearing it apart and not enjoying the game. And I know that about myself. I'd rather enjoy the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I know, some people don't have the same connection to these zones, Eversong Woods and the Ghostlands. I do. I routinely would head back there. I would sometimes just plop a character down there and just do work. Like, I'm not even playing. I'm just listening.
No, it was one. I mean, it was a fan favorite music from the beginning.
Absolutely,
way before I think even there was soundtracks. People were like, I'd roll a level 1 Blood Elf and put my headphones on, or turn my monitor off and go to bed and just leave Eversong Woods on all night. Totally, really common in the community.
So, I mean, Eversong Woods, I remember when I started questing, I thought, amazing, beautiful, doesn't feel like Eversong Woods. And I think as I got through more of the zone, I did start to feel a little bit connected to the old version. You can see where the dead scar has healed and good things are coming. But it's still, I don't want to say it's lost a lot because it's a huge change, and it's a change obviously for the better. Ghostland's kind of the same. Like, it was so iconic. It was so what it was, and it's, I don't know, it got swallowed up a bit. The music, when I usually love the music, I only kind of like the new music because I feel like it doesn't actually connect to the old music as much as I wanted it to. And maybe
I hear like the Eversong music will come in a little bit and you'll hear it and then it's like, okay, I feel like maybe they didn't want to overwhelm. Maybe because Eversong Woods was all anyone ever listened to, maybe they were kind of like, okay, like an homage to it. That would be my thought. Sorry to interrupt you, but I get what you're saying too.
Yeah, I think they had a hard task to do, right? Like, specifically the music.
They did that in housing, too, by the way. Sorry to interrupt again, but in housing, I just noticed the other day, it's not always like Razorwind Shores. Like, every now and then, like, Thunderbluff music will come or Orgrimmar will come, but not a lot of it. And you're kind of like, oh, interesting. It does switch a little. Like, it's almost smoother, but you don't get as much of what you would have had in the old soundtrack. You don't get as much of the repeatable, like the war drums. It's like, do-do-do, they sort of come in and then they're gone again. So interesting. They did change that. The music is different this time, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. I guess I wish there was just a sliver more connection to the old from the new, and maybe I don't know, this is not a criticism, but it's just an observation.
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. It's still a little bit of a disconnect. It's a lot to assume, but it's not like a disconnect that you can't ever gonna. I feel like the more I play, I'm already looking forward to doing the side quests, because you talking about like, you can see where the scar healed. I haven't done that. Like, I don't know anything about what's going on about Silvermoon, actually. Like, I do need to get out there and do those side quests. I did the campaign, but the campaign, it's, like I said, it's pretty cut and
It's
dry
pretty minimal
these days.
in the city,
It's one or maybe a story and a half or two intertwined stories. It's not everybody. So the side quests are going to be fun for that. But so far, a little disconnecting, but it's not, it's a little jarring, but it's not like anything that would make me not participate in it, right? Yeah, like obviously.
Right. Now, famously, your main character is a troll. So, tell me about your thoughts on Zulaman, on the zone, on the story there. How much are you enjoying that?
Zolaman's my favorite place in the entire game, period. I don't ever want to leave that place.
Wow.
I'm the one thing that annoys me about Zolaman. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I think maybe my graphics card is taking a dump. I'm not sure because I've also been getting like green lines in the portal room, which is pretty disastrous. So
Oh no.
I don't necessarily. Yeah, it might be time. But I found the one thing I found about Zolaman was it wasn't very like some of it wasn't very detailed. Like when I'm flying around, I feel like the trees in Elwyn had nicer leaves. Like these are pine trees and stuff, but they look very like triangular until you're like right up to them, which might be my graphics card. Honestly, that could be part of it. It's
Possibly,
not glaring,
yeah.
but it's kind of like things a little. But it looks pretty. I want more of those options for housing. I know we'll talk about housing later, and they do give you some. And by the way, I think the stuff that they're giving you is great. I would never like Zolaman my whole house, but it's cool to have a nod to it. So Gershom is Dark Spirit anyway. That's because that was all he could be. And then I have a Zandalari troll, Hunter Biden. I don't know if you heard about that guy. It's Biden. I had to spell it differently, but he's Hunter Biden. And his pets are Barisma and Pop Pow, which is laptop backwards.
Oh
that
my
was
God.
Willie's idea. Yeah.
I was going to say, you need to find an offhand that looks like a laptop.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I don't follow troll stories much, but it sounds like, well, let me ask this. Are people who are focused in on troll heritage and troll stories, are they excited? Are you excited about the attention they're getting?
I think so. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like part of the troll community or anything. I really
Yeah.
should maybe look into it more, but because there is a lot of lore there. I'm enjoying learning. I'm enjoying spotting the differences. Like Willie and I were talking about some of the differences. Like they are definitely built differently. They're bigger. They're a little more swole, but they're not tall like the Zandalari. They're hunched over, but they're definitely got some bigger calves on them, some bigger arms. Their eyes look different. So that's probably just evolution. You live in a different place, you know? I thought Zuljara's eyes kind of looked like cat eyes. And then I'm like, if you're in the forest though, maybe you need to have some really keen eyesight in a different way, in a different looking kind of way. I like the redesign because, and this is again so lame that you have to have read the books to hear this, but there's one of the really old novels. I think it was the one where like Illyria and Turallion meet. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I have to edit this out. It's literally
1,000
one of
Years of
these
War?
guys. Yeah, or is it Cycle of Hatred? No. It's either Tides of Darkness or it's Beyond the Dark Portal, I think.
Oh, okay.
Where they meet. But there's a scene where Illyria is taking Varisa through the forest and she's like, be careful now, there's trolls. And Varisa's kind of like, whatever, I'm 14, leave me alone, I'm a teenager, I'm this, I'm that. And she's kind of sassing off. And all of a sudden Illyria just like shoots a troll out of the tree. These dudes lived in the trees. And I remember talking about this even with Bentolas. I think one of the things they did really good was making them look different, making them look like they had their own evolution. They're green.
Yeah.
Everybody, there's one thing in troll lore, the way that trolls look, they are very tied to where they live. The Zandalari are often covered in rocks. They lived up in the mountains. You know, the ice trolls have like hair on their backs. They wear like thicker hair on their heads. They don't run around with shaved heads. They naturally grow more hair. They got like ankle hair and weird stuff. You know, the Darkspear trolls are actually blue because they moved to live by the ocean. This is true in lore. The reason Darkspear trolls are actually smoother and blue is because they live on the beach. They don't live by rocks and forests. So I think that's cool. I think they did that very well. I think design is great. I think the houses look cool. I've always wanted more of that look. I think it does lend itself to the lore between them and the elves. I am also interested in doing those side quests, and I love Zuljara. I know like a lot of people really like Gayara. She's like another big orc, like female leader. And we have a lot of them. We got Draka, Thrall's wife is cool. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
But like lots of cool female orcs out there for sure. But and trolls. But Zuljara is really cool. And I'm really enjoying the female friendship between her and Liadrin. I think that's been really cool. And it has gotten some attention, especially. I feel like WoW has this sort of perennial problem that'll surface every now and then where the females they write seem to be these kind of angry, vindictive, vengeance-driven. They always sort of lose their mind. You know, we saw it with Jaina. She lost her mind in Pandaria. Lots going on there. Yep. We see it with Sylvanas. We see it. So it's nice to see two females in WoW just kind of be normal, just have some differences, feel it out between each other, just like I predicted. Liadrin wants to go back there and keep an eye on things. She really likes Zildjiara. I think that's cool. It just seems healthy and normal, not dramatic. I liked that. I guess I do like this kind of clear-cut, like simpler way of it. But yeah, I like Zolaman a lot. I'm excited for the side quest over there for sure.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that story too. I don't know that I've hit the very end of their escapades, but yeah, I find myself really enjoying the twists and turns, and I like that they sort of put out there that Zul'Jin was the head honcho, and then you're like, oh, no, he's not. He's just full of himself. And
this is really funny though. His voice is really cool. I listen to him a lot when he talks. I don't know who. I gotta look up the actor for the guy who does Zul'Jin because it's really cool. Yeah. He added something to it that's not. Like, it's clear that they speak, like, some sort of Afro-Caribbean, like, dialect. I think that Dark Spears were originally. And they use words like gokinye, which is, like, Jamaican for, like, you pesky little kid, or you butthole, like, get out of here, you know, gokinye is, like... You see how he says it to you, is get out of here. You're an asshole, dude. Get out of my face. And so they throw around words like that. Like, but his voice is cool. I'm not going to try and mock it up, but the way he's kind of, like... I am trying to mock it up. He's, like leering at you a little. It's weird. I'm not gonna do it, but he's like, yeah, you know, you think you're so cool, but like he sounds like a troll. The dude's definitely got a chip on his shoulder for sure, and I think that's cool too. They're really working the voices, working the story. I like it over there. I love it over there. I'm really excited to bring my Warlock. That's one thing I never did with War Within. Between it being so fast and being so much to do, I literally leveled and geared out Gershom. I don't know how people play alts with this pace. I didn't even level my Warlock. I think she's maybe like 75. I didn't even finish leveling her through War Within. I might use a boost on her. If I still have an 80 boost, I might, and just bring her over and do it again because, it's good. It's really good over there.
Don't waste your boost. The leveling between 70 and 80.
It's so fast. Yeah. No,
stupid small. So fast. Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. That is true. That's a really good point.
I know you haven't dived into Aronaar yet. Neither have I. Are you looking forward to it?
I clicked on Rowena today, and she's like, let's go through the route way, and I was like, neat, and then I was like, so pretty. I'm like, oh man, I can't start playing. This is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure what kind of creature the Herondar are. That's going to be fun because everyone's like, ooh, they look kind of like trolls. And then it's like, oh, are they like avatar people? No idea. No speculation. No idea what they are. Something else, something I don't know. I guess they sort of look like trolls. I don't know. That's probably the thing I'm interested to find out what they are. I'm interested to find out how they got there. I'm interested to find out why they're mad that she left. Probably some sort of fear-mongering culture at this point. They've been down there so long that the top is evil or something. I don't know. I'm probably more excited about that than Voidstorm, and I'm really... I picked Herondar because it seemed like the place to go. I wanted to do the land things, but the Arator storyline, I am like chomping. I got me like a line of lip sweat. Like I'm ready to go see Arator do his thing. Finish that up over there. That's woo! I love him, by the way. Do you like Arator a lot? Is he the coolest?
I do. He is, he's definitely whiny in game.
I like him though. I like it.
Yeah. What I found was interesting, and you read Blood Ties, right?
Not all the way. I bought the audiobook last night in like chapter 6, but you can spoil it. It's fine.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I won't spoil it, but I will say, and maybe this is in the back of your head as you go through, I feel like both he and Turalyon, of course Illyria we haven't seen in game, so who knows, but both of them, they're I don't know, their vibe is a little bit different from the book. And even towards the end, and somebody mentioned, I heard somebody mention the other day, well, hey, the events at the end of the book could definitely set you off. And so by the time we see them in game, the book has already happened. And sure, Turalyon could be extra grumpy, which I think we definitely see in game. It felt like in the book that the Arator was coming closer to understanding and finding himself and all this stuff. And then in game, it's sort of like, nope, he's just
so confused.
floundering.
He's still a confused millennial. Yeah, that's funny because then you're like, well, we're always talking about the discrepancy between the books and the games, and this one seems like if you read it, but then you play the game and you're like, but he's still kind of... I haven't finished though, so I don't know how much of an understanding he comes to. I'm still coming to the point where I'm like, oh, there's parts of Arator that really remind me of Illyria. Like always feeling like she didn't belong, but then somehow wanting to be left alone. Like, you don't belong, you just been offered like Ranger General of Silvermoon, but I want to go be by myself and... so I see Arator, I see that. The light a little, I think it's going to be exciting to see like what we saw in the movie where the light is obviously this horrible, and he's been hinting at it, something that makes him like angry, loses his mind apparently somehow, like it definitely makes you go like temporarily crazy or something. I'm not sure what that is. I know the Lightwood has something to do with it, so I guess I'm excited to see that. I mean... I just like the books, and I don't always do the audiobooks, but I'm gonna because I had one, so I'm gonna finish checking it out.
Yeah, I really liked the book. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't hear the audio, so I don't know the voices, but the book itself, kudos to Christy Golden.
The voice is the guy who does Arator's voice, Yuri Lorenthal or something. The voice actor,
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
He reads the book, which is pretty funny, which is pretty cool. I like his... I don't mind his whininess, which is weird because normally I mind whininess, but to him he does. Yeah, but also sometimes when he talks, I'm like, aren't you a little old for this though? Because like on TV we kind of did some like real quick head mapping, and we were like, he's got to be like in his late 30s. Like he's got, if you go back to Legion and the Portal and like where he was and the 1,000 Years War and everything. Not really, but like... He's probably a millennial, and sometimes I look at him and I'm like, you're a little old for this kind of attitude that you have. But then it's like, he's abandoned. He's got a lot of questions. He's probably got some chips on his shoulder too. I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, no doubt. The one thing I don't buy that people say is like, oh, well, he's half elf, so he's going to live forever. So really he's only like 3 years old. I'm like, no.
No, I hate when people do that. Like when you're still
just because he's going to live
1,000
years. Yeah, it doesn't mean it takes him that much longer to become an adult. No,
That's a good point. Yeah. No, because we hear about somehow miraculously in Beyond the Dark Portal or whatever, Illyria is only like 18, Varisa's like 14, and it says those words. So, okay, they were born right then. They weren't born 10,000 years ago. They were born, like, whenever that was, several...
Right.
Illyria is not that old. She really is, like, in her 50s, probably. Only. Yeah. And, like, Turalyon, too, maybe a little older. He's looking pretty grizzled. I made a funny meme. I don't know if you saw it. I made, like a Uncle Sam, those old Uncle Sam posters where he's like, I want you. I made one with Turalyon where he had like a big old like paladin helmet on, and he's like, I want you for the Army of the Light, and I just thought that was hilarious to me. Dude is so like zealoted out right now, it's crazy. Although I'm sure the Lightwood's fucking with his head, I don't know. He's
I think there's a lot going on. Yeah. And in the book too, he showed some growth in the book. And again, I won't spoil it, but he definitely... He evolves a bit in the book, and then you get back to the game and you're like, I don't know if he grew much, and maybe he slipped a bit, or maybe like things have, again, there are things that could have caused that, but it's like, oh, but he was on a good path, and now, right out of the gate in Silvermoon, he is just...
Do you think that?
Right? Like,
yeah, he is. Do you think that Illeria's off having like a summer of '98 after her divorce? Do you think that's Arator's like She's been gone for weeks. I hope Mummy's okay, even though I've gone 1,000 years without seeing her before. Like, bro, she's off.
Right, I know.
Relax.
Yeah.
She's good. She's having hot girl
Where do you
summer
think
out
she
there.
is?
I don't know. It's funny to speculate. I have no idea.
They haven't said anything in game, right? I don't think I've missed anything. They haven't really mentioned her other than...
Yeah.
Well,
like,
actually,
here
not
she
even
is.
Other than what? Yeah.
Yeah.
When does she come back? When do you think she comes back?
So she doesn't come back at the end of Arator? I mean, is she going to come help us in the first raid? Or is she going to come back and help us? I don't really follow raids. I don't even know what the first raid is.
Yeah.
I'm sure when you talk about the news, you'll go into it. I don't know where... Trying to think if she doesn't come back for Arator.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does she even realize that there's a point to like chasing Xalatath? She's still jumping into portals and and now Xalatath's completely focused on Silvermoon. Like it doesn't even seem like Xalatath cares so much about Ilaria anymore. Maybe that's because Ilaria's gone.
Right.
But lately when you see an opponent to Xali, it's the Vanguard, it's the Army of the Light, it's Liadrin and Lorthamar. Ilaria's not there at all. So I don't know. I guess maybe she's off recovering or they're just waiting for a good time.
So I guess the last place we literally saw her was in that cinematic when she was chasing Xalatath through that portal.
Yeah.
And she watched the guy get like melted down. Was that what's his name?
Salad Bar?
Lucas Walker?
Locust Walker was in the raid. Yeah. Or right outside, not right before the raid. He's right before the raid. Sorry. Salad Bar is the guy from the raid.
In the cinematic
I don't know what his name is. I know who you're talking about. He has the dark heart. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Was that Salad Bar? No, I can't remember. Now I'm gonna go check. I sound like an asshole. I don't know. Salad Bar. What was his name? Salazar. He was
King
in the raid, too.
Saladar.
Yeah, they call him Salad Bar.
And he's
as a
back.
Joke. He came back.
They had to know that, right?
No, I didn't know.
When they were making that. No. I'm saying when they made that name, like they had to know.
Oh, Wooly joked around that somebody was like eating a salad when they made it and phoned it in. It was like someone was just eating lunch and was like salad dar. And so then I had to jump in with the P-tier Griffin. What's your name? Did you ever see that episode of Family Guy? Where he's like looking to make up a fake name and he sees a P on his dinner plate and then he sees someone crying and then randomly a griffin like flies across the sky and he's like P-tier Griffin? And she's like, very well, Peter Griffin. And he goes, oh, God damn it.
That's
Salad Bar for you.
If we look ahead, and I know we've got 12.0.5 news coming, and I don't know that it actually gives us much story-wise, at least in the snippet I saw. Where do we think we're going? Like, what is next? Do you have thoughts? And I'll throw this one thing out. Hey, if you noticed on the map in Zul'Aman, there's a body of land to the east of Zul'Aman. On the map, you can see it. And if you fly over there, and I have, you get shrouded with mists and it essentially like just grabs you and throws you back on land. So you can't go there yet, but it's definitely there. So I know there's more troll stuff coming.
Yeah.
That's the only hint I feel like they've left, at least so far. What are we doing next? Where does this battle go? Do you have thoughts?
Wow. That wasn't in the notes. I know, it's a lot because we're like so early on in the game. Like
it does feel like that, yeah.
I know, and I keep going back and focusing on like the trolls too. That's weird. I didn't know there was like a weird spot. Now it makes me wonder what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because speculations about that. We already kind of had a revamp of the Zul'jin raid back in the day, so I don't know. Some sort of like, it's gotta be some sort of Twilight's cult. It's gonna be some kind of weird, like the Twilight's cult came back and they're like imprisoning some other Loa or something. I don't know, something weird. The Twilight's cult is Backblade, whatever they are, is over there doing something. I have no idea what. What do you think?
I'm gonna guess that'll be. I think that's probably going to be our 12.1 new zone. You know, every now and then we're going to get new zones. I mean, I don't know if it's 12.1 or later, but it's definitely That's a new area of land that they're teasing on the map.
And it snatches you back. That's funny. Huh.
Yeah.
Because there was that weird foggy spot before they join you. Which tribe was it? The Witherbark, I think. There's like a spot where you go pretty high up in the mountains, and there's some weird. It's just regular fog. It's not like creepy. It's not like demonic fog or anything. But there's definitely some weird like coastal. And when you go finish up with Zul'Jin, he's looking out. Maybe that's close to where it is. I should go look, because he's sitting on this thing that his sister calls like the Sky Bridge or something, but it's broken. It used to go somewhere.
That's exactly
There's a broken bridge. No. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. So I never tried to fly across there, but what he's looking at, okay, that's weird. So I don't know what he's looking at, but the very last thing he says to you, he goes, "Go back to the party. I'll join you in a little while. I have a little more like looking at the past to do. Or I'll join you when I'm done staring into the past." And you're like, what is he talking about? He just told you this story. I didn't see what the fuck he was looking at. I just saw like a bunch of water and like some buildings, and I was like, oh, I should go over there, and I did, and I went back to the party.
So I haven't finished that part of the campaign questing, but I have flown around there, and I did see, Skybridge thing.
I gotta go check this out.
It's like the Truman Show bridge. It's just broken, and it goes across. If you fly across, you can make it to the land, but then it says, "Ooh, you've been wrapped in mist, and you are mysteriously carried back." I think it literally dumps you back onto the Skybridge.
That's funny. I'm thinking when everyone tried to fly to the destroyed Teldrassil, and it just gave you fatigue and you died. And people were trying to, like, they were redding out their gear all night, trying to fly around, trying to jump down, trying to swim, what are you guys doing? You can't go there yet. But that's funny. Now it doesn't give you fatigue or kill you. It just brings you back. That's gentler approach.
The saving on repair cost. Yeah, much gentler blizzard in this case. Yep.
Oh my God. That's a funny thought. No, I'm excited to go check that out now. That's so cool. You drew that to my attention. That sounds geeky. I can't open the game when we're recording. But immediately after. That sounds cool. Yeah, the Zul'Jin is going to be wild. I'm kind of famous on Thrall's Balls for saying this thing about how long it takes the music to get in my head, or like, I woke up in the morning and it got in my head. Nah, bro, I woke up to go pee in the middle of the night last night, and it was like, I had the whole like troll music. I just did the worst sound ever, but like so good. It was in my head, like literally, you know what it feels like to have to go to the bathroom and hear like Zul'Jin music in your head.
I've enjoyed the music there. I've actually, and maybe it's because I'm less connected to trolls than maybe the Blood Elves, but I've enjoyed that music more than the new Eversong Woods.
I could not even tell you any
of
the like Sindora music or anything of what they're playing in Silvermoon. That's so funny. You're making me realize how fast I jumped into Zul'Jin, how much I really wanted to do it. That's wild. I'm having trouble even remembering what the Silvermoon quest line was. This is what alts are for, I guess.
Well, the Silvermoon stuff, I mean, at least the campaign quest was really quick. It was sort of like, here's the city, now get out there and get questing. And I know there's the university area, the Murder Row area. There are side quests, but I haven't gotten to any of them yet. So they don't do a lot.
I think maybe it was like to introduce you to it. That's interesting. Now that you kind of mentioned that Zul'Jin thing. Well, then is he gonna be a boss, you think? Or you think he's gonna like settle down, that brother? I don't know, you haven't really completed it. It's just interesting now that I'm thinking about it. I wouldn't know.
You know, you say that, I haven't thought about it yet, but a part of me kind of hopes it's not, he goes bad, now he's a boss. I would love for people just to be sort of normal people. Yeah, he's a grumpy guy. He didn't get in charge. His sister's in charge.
He even sort of like it. Sometimes he sort of jokes with you. Like, first of all, the calling of Gokinye, but then like sometimes he seems mad at you.
Yeah.
He really does want you to get away from him, but that could just be like the grumpiness. He just needs to go off and be mad that like a girl got picked over him, and that's not his fault. We found out that he's born younger. That's not even his fault. Like, what are you so mad about?
Right.
Because Zul'Jin says a line. She says like, he been having umbrage with me since the day he was born. So she was obviously there first. like, and he came
Yep.
along later. I'm wondering if somewhere deep in my head, if that's how their mother died, and we're gonna find out something. There's some weird, deep blame. If it wasn't his birthing, some sort of accident, maybe she saved him from something, some sort of animal or something. Maybe he's got some kind of weird, like, grief or even like internalized misogyny, like he thinks he hurts with, something weird and like deeply psychological about him. I think we're gonna find out for sure. And I think whatever he's looking at over that bridge is gonna let us know like what's going on in his head, but it might be deeper than we think. I'll say it is. I think it is.
That makes sense. And I guess I would like for that story to just keep playing out and not, it almost seems like a cheap shortcut to say, oh, he's really grumpy, therefore he gets corrupted and becomes a boss and a thing, and we have to fight him. Like, no, can't he just be dealing with that like a normal person, human troll thing? Like, can the story just be a little bit more realistic in that way? And I have a hunch that they're gonna stick with that. I think they are digging into those sort of feelings and emotions in the story a bit more than maybe they did in the past. So I'm hoping that's the way that goes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great no matter what they do with it.
Ready to work.
Let's turn our attention away from all this modern story, all this new stuff that's been out for a week or two, and let's go back to what has grabbed the attention of so many WoW players, and that is housing. I have not done a lot in housing. It partly hasn't grabbed me enough, but also I just don't have the time. But I know that you have been working on some housing. So what's your take on housing? How are you enjoying it? What do you think?
My thoughts like run the gamut. So first of all, I had a rough launch with that too. I was having this thing so first of all, shout out on this podcast to a friend of our show, Calcus. He actually, as a gift, bought me the expansion. So I did get to jump into housing and was immediately just having a lot of problems with things staying in place. So, like, there's no other way to describe it except, and this was like on the forums, where like you would try and sync like a rug, like you'd rotate a rug up onto the wall. Like I have a bear rug turned into like a bear skin, like on a wall, like in a lounge, like a hunting lodge, but like it wouldn't stay. So like I would leave or log out or exit mode and it would disappear. Like just really weird stuff like that. And then there was some patch, like whatever it wasn't like the expansion, it was like a housing patch, and I was like, we need a housing patch, and they did it and it worked. So my house works perfectly, and I just burned through, starting to have fun with it, obviously. But one of the things, so I went through like a whole like evolutionary process on this. I'm like, okay, this is kind of basic. Like I started calling this stuff like the Tokaboka pack. Like just these shapes of things, like a Sim starter pack. Like it's very sandboxy. And so Johnny and I, we had started talking about like making things look like other things. Like Wooly made like a coffin or some sort of box, like a TV, or like, so we were doing funny things like that. So like the fun of that is that it's really fun and it challenges your brain, but then also that this is brand new and they're gonna have so much stuff, and I would be a little bit loath to continue working on these gigantic projects that maybe aren't gonna, like, I would just tear it down and replace it with whatever version they come up with, but it would feel bad a little bit. So I don't want to work on too many of those. Like for an example, I have completed what I keep calling like a kobold tower, but there's no tower, so it looks like a turret. And it's like in I have this big circular, it's called the Night Circle room. So speaking of the Truman Show, it looks like the Truman Show. It's like this big dome room with the grass floor and stuff. And it looks like night up top. So I'm like, this is dope. This is like a playroom. Let's have like some airsoft in here, like some like neat, like a kobold tower, like a surveillance tower. There's no tower. There's no way to build this thing. I ended up taking like paths of rocks, flipping them around and sinking them into the ground around a rug that I'd used as a stencil. So like dropping these in on the grid, turning them just right, and then doing it all again because there's gaps, so I had to fill the gaps, kind of like a mason would. You kind of go back and do like a second layer of that. So if they had like a pre-built tower, would I use it? Absolutely. Would tearing this thing down feel bad? Absolutely. Might it feel better because I get some currency back? Absolutely. But but bearing that in mind, I saw something in Zolaman when I was doing the Loa quests. I'm like, well, which one do I like? You go to all these shrines, and I'm like, one of these are basic enough. These are built out of like, they're very kind of, to me, like pre-Columbian, almost like American or kind of Dominican looking, like that Caribbean, like Afro-Caribbean weird temples and kind of that look. So I'm like, okay, I love that look. These guys would be pretty easy to build with like bricks or something. So I'm kind of taking screenshots, like which one do I want on the roof of my house? Because I already have the Bwansambi gong as my front door, which, by the way, you can put things right in front of your door and still use it, so you can click on it. But
oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm like, cool, I'm gonna get one of these like things up there. And then I went to the vendor and I'm like, there's a little tiny one of Halazi. Johnny and I have overpicked to death about the fact that once they start doing something, they're going to do it. So right now it's a little tiny idol. This will eventually become the shrine that you can make big enough to put on your roof or in your yard. I literally feel almost like I don't want to bother with this because I feel like it's going to happen. They're going to do it eventually. I don't know. What do you think? Have you run into that sort of like vibe, or like, what do you that's just the first thing I had to say, but
yeah, my housing is not impressive at all.
I should come visit your house, and you're gonna
nothing.
get me in your guild, right? Not to interrupt. All right.
Right. So it's interesting. We have opened up the solo queue Discord. We've opened up the solo queue guild. We've opened up 2 neighborhoods, one for the guild on the alliance side and then one on the horde side. And honestly, the horde side one makes no sense to me because it's a charter neighborhood and I haven't figured out how to add people who weren't on the charter. So the charter needed 10 people to sign. I got those people to sign. We opened up the neighborhood, including Johnny. Johnny is in there. I don't know how to add people. It hasn't worked.
Maybe if I like visit your house, like in the social tab, maybe there's some way to like invite me, but I have to be online or something. Yeah,
I think, I don't know if it was an add-on. That was my next issue. Like, maybe it's a weird add-on I'm running. So my next test is I got to strip out my add-ons and then, let's hook up and meet in my little town and see, like, I need to invite you somehow.
Hearing you go on and on about that, about that process for getting that one, even for your alliance size, the way it was like the bosses. Can you imagine if it was 10? That is wild. I'm like, this man has the patience of a saint. He really wants to get this done. This is crazy to me. I'm sorry. I really admire you, but
I don't know what the hell happened. Thank God the 10 for the charter neighborhood didn't fail like the other one did.
Oh, okay.
Like the actual guild charter. I don't know what was going on. Honest to God.
That's so
I would get to 1, 2, sometimes 3 signatures, and you need 4, and then the charter would just die. The item was literally useless. I'd have to
there was another glitch.
Get a new one.
There was a glitch similar to that. I submitted a bug report on this, actually. I did my due diligence. There was housing decor that wasn't adding to my collection right away.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so like just a simple like right click, like you're saying, like that contract would go away, but like not get like used or not like function properly. Yeah, so this is it's just the housing decor doesn't get added and you don't get any XP and it doesn't go. So like if you're working on something that night and you want to do that was frustrating at least twice this week for me. Because I had ideas like, ooh, I'm gonna go set this up exactly this way. I actually changed my plot too. So like this is just kind of like a nice segue, I guess. And this is really funny because I hadn't been to Zolaman yet. and you had talked about whether Gershom was like a dark spirit troll or like what his like vibe was. And I'm like, well, he's a dark spirit because he had to be. And I also have a Zanzalari, but Gershom is two things about him. He's very into like all the trolls. He's like very aware of where he comes from and what's going on with like other trolls, which I guess is just kind of me, but like him as a toon. And he's always had this kind of like affinity or crush on like forest trolls. And he has this thing where like he likes to go out and like pretend to live in like Grizzly Hills, even though he's not a forest troll. So I went and I bought a new plot that is like on a over. So he had a beach plot before, like right on the front, very dark spirit, turquoise waters. And I was literally like, this isn't. Maybe it's because I grew up like this, right? But I didn't, so I started switching plots, and I'm like, first of all, I want a view, so then you have to know what you want, you know, which is nice. So then you can go exploring for free, and it saves it for like, 5 minutes or something, and then it's, you know, so I'm jumping around, and then I got the hang of like, which part of the map I liked best, like which map, no matter which neighborhood you're in, it's the same. So like this area, okay, what's available over here? And I did finally find one, and is very much more like Grizzly Hills. It's up top. Like I'll submit some screenshots later, but it's very cool. But I like that. Did you know though? Did you know when you switch your plot, you know how it charges you money?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever switched your plot? You switch your plot. You buy a new house. You go to the map. You say, I want to buy this new house instead. Okay. Not sure how much it charged you. Do you remember?
So I remember being very confused by
this. You're gonna go into what I'm gonna go into. You're hitting on what?
Well, then I will let you go.
You can buy a house. You can buy a house for 1 gold if all you have is 1 gold in your backpack, or if you have 10,899 gold in your backpack, that's how much it'll cost you as well. So whatever's in your backpack, and I don't know if they fixed this because it's been like weeks since I bought a plot. I don't know if it was a glitch or just some kind of funny fucking trick or haha, but it wasn't like 10,899. It was like 6,000 or something, and then I'm like, well, where did it come up with that number? Because it was really weird. It was like 6,387 gold and 7 copper, and I'm like, what the hell? Discount, reputation. But then when I went to do it again, and I had like 10 gold in my bag. It was like 10 gold. You want a new house? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want a new house. What the hell? Yeah, and that's all I've done. I've switched plots twice, so I haven't tried it again.
I think that's not what it is. I think that screen that comes up shows you, because I was confused by this. And I remember the character, I made a house, when housing first came out, and then eventually we started the guild neighborhood. And I moved, obviously, my house to my own guild neighborhood. And the screen that came up was like, yep, you can move your house, 226,000 gold.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's a
weird.
lot. See,
that's
for
weird.
you, it threw you off.
Well, I just clicked the button. I was like, whatever, I don't know, sure. I still had 226 thousand gold. I think it shows you how much your character has. And then in smaller font,
I didn't even notice that.
$1,000.
Huh.
I think it's like 1,000, or maybe even not even, because I think also when you sell your house, you get the 1,000 back, and then I don't know that it costs much, but I remember seeing.
Now
I
want to go do the math.
What?
Yeah, because what happened was I just went right into decorating and didn't even look at my bag, to see if I was down to 0.
I don't think
currency.
It costs.
I don't think it does.
No.
Because I don't think when I went back out questing, I had money for repairs and money.
Yes.
You're right. It's not costing that much. Yeah.
It shows you what you have. And then below in smaller type, I think it says 1,000 gold or something.
Oh,
like
interesting.
That.
So for you,
what happened
with me
trap.
was you almost did, but for you it was so jarring because you're like, that's everything I have.
It's like, that's 250,000 gold.
Yeah,
what are you talking
that's
about?
not fair. That's been a big argument. And even that video that they dropped, that World of Warcast or whatever, where they're like, don't worry, it's pretty cheap. It's not you could do it a bunch of times if you want. It's not gonna be limiting. So whatever that was, I think the glitch may be in just the typing. It shouldn't be showing you that weird amount.
I think so.
It should just say 1,000 or something. Yeah. I'll bet you we'll see that change pretty quick. That was interesting though. It's good. I'm glad you brought that up because come to think of it, it didn't take 8,000 gold for me because I went out questing and was able immediately to buy flights. Like if you have no gold, you can't do anything. Like you can't get on the flight.
Right.
Even there's no free flights
Right.
anymore, portals and
Right.
stuff. But you go and get on one flight. Like you can't. Sorry, you don't have money for that. So yeah, that didn't happen. So good point. Good point.
I think when you give up a plot, I almost think they give you the 1,000 back. I could be
Maybe.
wrong,
Oof.
but I think you get that, and then when you like, okay, yep, I've got a new neighborhood I want to go to, you essentially just pay that same 1,000 that you just got back, and I don't know that it actually costs you anything to move,
Yeah.
which is nice.
I'm clearly confused on what they're doing over there. I don't know what's going on.
It's a little confusing.
I have a
So
question.
yeah, you and I maybe we'll.
Well, for
Yeah,
you,
yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for you. Have you
Yeah.
have you like made or done anything like unique or weird, or you just kind of, you said you weren't doing a whole lot. You're just kind of throwing things around. I'm gonna come visit your house now. I want to.
Yeah, my house is so one of the houses, and I honestly don't even remember which one is which because I spend so little time in my house. But one of them has a room where I think I just downloaded all of the weird Legion remix, like all the stuff you could earn.
You just
through
kind of
Legion
threw it on the
remix.
floor.
I just threw it on the floor.
I started out doing
I thought,
that
oh, hey,
when I first did that. I did.
wouldn't it be cool to have
Yeah.
a Legion room?
Yeah.
Because I have everything from every class.
Yeah, and you don't scale
I worked
it.
hard to do it. Yeah. So I have just I think my houses both kind of look like storage containers where. Oh, I noticed this past week that one of the Endeavor things was, hey, you should, what do you say? I don't even know, deploy 50 decor items or whatever it is. I was like, oh, okay, I could do that. I'm just going to throw 50 things into this room. And so, yeah, it looks like Storage Wars or whatever. There's no rhyme or reason. I think Johnny was super nice. I think he was the one that came and visited my house and said, like, oh, yeah, no, it's got potential. I'm like, you are a lying sack of shit. Like, I'm sorry. You're very kind, my friend, but no,
Johnny,
my houses are garbage.
Johnny is good people. I started out doing that, throwing things on the floor, and sometimes to this day, because I don't want to forget or like, so I constantly have a spreadsheet in the background. It's just always open because I'm always thinking of something.
Yeah.
And then I'll still port back to my house, put the thing that I just bought in the middle of the floor so that I remember to use it later. So like that's gonna be
nice.
my kitchen eventually. I haven't started, but like every time I get a thing that looks kitchen-y, like a turning wine rack or a stack of plates or a barbecue spit or a grill, all the grills, I don't care if they match yet or not, they're all sitting in the middle of my kitchen until I figure it out.
Yep.
So I was guilty of doing similar stuff. But other than the Cobalt Tower, I made a tanning bed. That was fun with like a coffin.
Oh,
I
nice.
took like a coffin and I like elevated and kind of angular mounted the lid and installed like a bunch of gnomish like spotlights, and it looks like you can lay in the coffin
nice.
and then there's like lights coming down on you. It's like I love doing it. And that was simple. That took like 10 minutes to
That's cool.
Yeah, it wasn't a Cobalt Tower by any stretch, but like what else are some of your like,
I'm appreciating.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I have nothing. I am appreciating all the things like that, even the big things, the little things that people are doing that are super creative in housing. Yeah, I'm just not there. I mean, part of it is I have such limited time in the game that I can't spend it. I can't spend it in housing and dicking around with housing when there's campaign questing to do.
Are you
new things?
Are you one of those like, what's the point? It just sort of looks cool people, like I was for a while, and sort of still feel that way sometimes. Like it's not quite as functional as I'd like it. For one thing, not to run you over, not as functional. Some of the things keep their weird old functions, like fun to turn a cooking table upside down and make it look like a bench around my Arkandor tree, but I can't sit on it. It's not interactive in that way. Like when you go, the chairs are still clipping. So that's where it feels like, okay, this is fun. To me, it's almost like it's fun to look at and work with still. But as far as like, am I going to do anything here? I think that's why I wanted to join the neighborhood. to at least have some folks to talk to, which is weird because like solo queue crew,
yeah.
I don't ever do anything. I don't raid. I don't do dungeons. Like I'm a delve girl and
I
a
know,
follower
I know.
dungeons girl, right? But this was kind of making me feel a little lonely, just being in there. Like, okay, I'm RPing. I go back there to rest. I don't go to Silver Moon. And the Zolomon city's kind of far from like what I'm doing right now. Like, so I just made it my house and then poured over real quick. So the RP for that has been fun, but I do want to see it be like more interactive. Maybe I'm postponing the decorating, so I feel like if I'm done, it's done. Unless someone wants to come look at it. It's more like a museum at this point, almost.
I think it's another aspect of the game that, hey, if you want to come in and that's how you want to play, this is a system that is pretty fleshed out and it's going to get better and it's clearly a focus. And if that's your thing, great. And I'm all for that. I think, if this were, let's say this, if the War Within went on another 3 months before Midnight dropped, I would probably be messing around in housing a bit more. And, with my limited amount of time, I'd be like, oh, I have nothing new to do. So sure, I'll go play around in my house, but it's not a focus for me.
Yeah.
And so with new things to do, I can't in my head justify no, I'm not going to quest Zulamon. I'm going to go play in my house.
No, that
time will come, and
that's exactly, it shifted to the back burner for me for that reason. Like it was definitely easy to be obsessed with it, but like at this point it's okay. I don't even necessarily miss it, right? Because I am balls deep in the campaign and loving that, but it'll be there when it's there. And if it sits there in stasis for a while they continue to make better things and micro changes that make it easier to play with and little things that I might come back and be like, oh, this is all different and cool. And there's more stuff, there's tons of things that work. Oh, you're going to be able to have a stable. Why are you going to worry too much about the outside? I feel like there's so much more new stuff coming. Like I said, I don't want to work on too many big projects because I feel like Blizz might be doing it already. Like, give it a little time. I don't feel the need to like barrel into it. This like Toka Boca basic pack that's not doing a whole lot for me right now, but it'll get better. So I feel like
as others have said, this is the worst that housing will be. It's only going to keep getting better, and that it's an evergreen feature, that it's not an expansion feature. I think is great. And so if with this increased patch cadence of, hey, every 8 weeks, we're going to give you something and we're going to keep the story moving and keep the ball rolling, keep the seasons rolling. And this expansion will be short like the last one because we've got 3 to kind of jam together. If all of that happens like that, and I don't have any kind of downtime until in between Midnight and the Last Titan, and that's when I do housing, great. I'm okay with that. I'm not...
And I don't think it's like you've said, and I know other folks have said, it's not going anywhere. I mean, I think the very, very, very worst case scenario, and this would be way down the line if people were unhappy, it would go into maintenance mode. And even things that people didn't like a lot, like the Clash of Clans game, that still took years to go into maintenance mode. They gave that like a good 2 through 3 years run for the community to be like, okay, we don't really like it. It's got some fans, but it's not really, so we're going to put it in maintenance mode. That would be the worst. They're not going to take housing away. I mean, that's illogical. There'd be an uproar on just way too many. But the worst case scenario is maybe they don't fix it as much, and it just is something that our peers like a lot more than campaigners. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah.
I would hope they would get to a point where the functionality is nailed down, the bugs are kind of smushed out, the features that they have coming about, hey, let's combine some things and you can manipulate the combined item and you can save the whatever the
like if you made a big like a complicated thing, you could copy your code or quality of life. It's a lot of quality life stuff. Well, once all of that is there, you could kind of go into half maintenance mode where yes, the functionality is done,
we're going to keep adding decor. We're going to keep adding items.
That's
Every
cool.
expansion that comes out, it's going to have new stuff. That's kind of a functionality maintenance mode, but still adding to the game.
That'd be fun.
That would
But
make
as far as
sense
it
to
getting
me.
like any kind of new system or anything, yeah, that would make sense. That'd be cool to get like new decors and stuff because the game's gonna move forward. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would be easy. They make the decor for their own zones, and those objects exist. It's just a matter of, hey, how do we kind of share them out into the game as rewards or as purchases or whatever. But I would think from a, Blizzard standpoint, that would be the goal of, yes, we've got all the functionality nailed down. No one's complaining. Housing is really good. Now we just sort of drip feed new stuff every now and then, keep people happy, keep people reinvesting. And I don't know. I'm okay with that, I guess.
It's fun to see. It's fun to see new.
Not that my opinion matters.
No, it does. It's fun. It's fun to see and to challenge myself. Like, there's parts. Maybe this is like in Gershom's like role playing head. Like he does take pride in having been all over the world. Like his spa room is not like. I guess what I should start at the end. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't like to get too involved in like one culture. Like maybe that's because Gershom considers himself to be like a lot of like trolls, but I've heard other like, especially this happens with dwarves. Like, okay, I'm not dark iron, but that's part of my culture. I like that. Or earthen too. You can bring some earthen elements into like, but my fear was that I was gonna get too troll-y, but I'm glad that's not happening. But it is nice if you want to do that, you can do that, I guess. Like, you can go directly to that vendor and be like, he's got most of the Zolaman stuff, or at least I want, like, a Zolaman room. Here's the idols and stuff like that. But, like, yeah, my house is kind of like a mishmash. I mean, it's got, like, Elwyn curtains in them. It's got, like, blue curtains and stuff. It's not all, like, Horde. Some of the Horde stuff's a little rough, honestly. I've always had to walk a line between some of the tusks, and it can be a lot, but
yeah. Here's a question from someone who doesn't do a lot of this, and I think this is one of the hurdles for me getting in there. How do you sift through all the stuff in your inventory? Is that difficult? Because I feel like in my head I have this inventory.
I don't like it.
I don't even want to look
it
through
needs to be revamped.
Is that overwhelming?
Yeah, it needs to be revamped. So when I first started, one of the glitches I was having too, so there's an inventory and a catalog. The inventory has what you have. The catalog has what you can get, which is cool. At first, for me, the catalog was not working, so that's lame. Now you can search the catalog. What I wish they had more, and I've talked about this elsewhere too, is that, like, make more of like a tooltip style. Can I just hover over the thing and be like, here's where it's for sale, here's where... First of all, I don't like that we have to go buy things from vendors all over the world. Yes, it's fun to fly back to Legion here and there, but if I need another Nightborn Lantern because I realize I need one more, I have to go all the way back. Can we please make like a tab, like a decor tab where like, oh, you have those resources, you can buy that thing from here.
It's mail order.
Yeah, you don't have to go all the way back and buy that like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Let's get down to business.
Housing is good. The war within was good. We are in the middle of midnight, and there's so many good things. How do you feel about Warcraft right now, as we're, like we said before, 21 years in? So, like I asked you a year ago, what is the state of the World of Warcraft for you?
I think, for me personally, I like where it's at. I think in general, I will hit some of the things I like the best. I like overall, I think the game is, if not easier, because I don't necessarily love that word, but like simpler to play and kind of wrap more of an adult lifestyle around. It's definitely not the time sink that it used to be to like level and do things. So I like that in general. I don't think it's moving too fast. I think it's good. I think that like on a business level, I think it's good that Blizz seems to be moving away from the bad stuff. That's all I want to say about that. It seems like some of the new team is in a good position to be in like a positive place. It seems like some of the bad actors have gone their own way. I really like I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, but Joanna Faries. I haven't had any real opportunity to talk to her. She finally started following me back on Twitter. I was so excited. And I was like the last kid on the planet. I think she was on break or something, and then she saw it. She's like, oh, neat. But I kind of like the fact that she seems like she wants to see what's going on. You know, we had some newly installed leaders after the bad actors left, and it almost seemed like, I don't know if you remember this, but it was Mikey Barra and Jen something, and they were partners, and then Jen left, and it was due to unequal pay and bad stuff, and then whatever, Mikey Barra left too, and then I think it was Joanna Faries. But when they first came in, I felt like almost it was too gung-ho, like they really wanted to fix Blizz, and the bad actors were gone. I feel like they've adopted a more mellow tone, that people can say, okay, Blizz is evolving. This isn't even, Warcraft is not a brand new project. Even terms like 2.0 are starting to rub me the wrong way, because I feel like Warcraft is, and this is great, this is a great part of the state, is it's an evolving thing. And it changes, and we change with it. And these systems changes, while they might feel different at first, I feel like they've never hit the ground, like, boom, okay, it feels organic, and I like that about Warcraft. I feel like the more we go, the more organic the storytelling and the campaign questing and stuff like that is going. I think, it's a good spot. It's a good spot.
Are you excited about the future, both, you know, this expansion, the next expansion, and beyond? Like, once we get through this trilogy, they're clearly talking about more. How excited are you for the future?
I am excited. I can't even begin to think about what comes after the World Soul. That scares me. Like, when you said that, I felt my throat start. I was like, no, I can't even. I am looking forward to the Last Titan, because I don't know what the hell it is. I'm really bad with lore things, though. I forget things. Like, I was running around the other day, and I was like, oh, Arator is the son of light and shadow. Oh, like, geez, come on. It wasn't Terralian the whole time. Come on, what are you doing? But, yes, I feel like not knowing what's coming is exciting in its own way. Does that make sense? I guess not even knowing what the Last Titan is, feeling excited to see what this is. I want to see what happens with the Cosmic Disco War. As far as what comes after this, I couldn't begin to speculate. But yeah, I do. I know I mentioned I want to see. I guess there is something I'm looking forward to that's not really plot related, and this is probably good that Warcraft is doing this, introducing us to new characters, which I love. But I do find myself being kind of like, where's Thrall? But that's the Horde in me. But, like, why does he really need to be there? It's the Cosmic Disco War, and he's a shaman, like, other than being the leader of the Horde. And it seems like Zuljara's kind of a nice stand-in. We've got, like, a nice horde-y feeling with her. I guess Lorthamar's our new leader, because it's his city that's under attack, so that makes sense. I know we'll see our favorites. You know, I'm thinking that some of the older characters might not tie into this new story as much. So I guess I'm interested to see, as the expansions go on, if we're going to hear back from older characters and have some older storylines turned in, that this isn't just like a whole brand new thing to absorb. And Blizz is really good at that. So I think we are going to see more story cohesion as the time goes on. And it's early yet. And then there was some kind of, I will look at my notes for this one. There were some kind of like technical things, I guess, I would like to see, and I would like to see this. Honestly, I would like to see this expansion, but we'll see. I want to see the mount tab redone, the way that they started adding the toy box, the way they started doing like the hunter pets are way different. You get 200 now. Not everyone who plays a hunter is going to get this, but like people who don't play hunters are not going to get it, but you can like see which stable your pet's in, and just all these really cool quality of life, bigger, easier to see, easier to explore. Like, I can find all my bears now. Does not matter what I named it. Doesn't matter if I named it Doofus or Dave or Tyrande or whatever. I go to the search bar and I write bear gives me all my bears. I want that for mounts. I want to type Drake and get every single Drake. I want to type everything. I want the mounts to be in families, demons, this, that. Like, I need it to be more like the pet tab, which I think would be nice. That would be like a mechanical change. I want all mounts to be flying. I want to ride my Amani bear. I'm gonna get that Zolomon transmog too, with the purple and shit, and that old Amani bear. Can he have some little white wings that come out of his back, like the pigs and the rats and other things that aren't supposed to fly, that get to fly? Can we just make everything flying? Just give it little wings. I got these wind steeds. They're goats. They don't even sprout wings. They just run on the air to clomp, 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 and there's a bunch of wind carrying the... Man, we got clouds. I want to ride my Amani bear really bad, Dave. I want to make all the mounts flying, and then I'm going to let you go, because I know you're going to have something to say about this. Follower raids, bro. Follower raids. We always talk, please bring us follower raids. Stop. I'm not even going to go on about how long, please. Man, I did Gallywix, and I was like, what the fuck is this? It took like 10 minutes. It took forever to start the fight, because I had to start it, even though Garrick's the tank and all this. Man, and I didn't find out anything that happened. I got to see the last scene. Please, can we just do all the bosses? I want to see Salad Bar get blown up. I want to see why Nexus Princess Kaiveza was attacking us in the Delves. I want to see what kind of boss she was, bro. Please, please. What do you have to say about that? A lot, I'll bet. I'm going to let you go.
Yes, that's all I have to say. Yes, I mean, oh my goodness. Oh, God, no. It is fascinating that they think just giving us one boss is somehow story mode. I don't understand logically why they think that is a story mode. I want to know the story of the raid. What story are you telling through these 2, 3, 8, 9 bosses, whatever? And I know we have a couple one boss raids coming, and that will be tempting to just, I hope we get story mode for those. But the bigger raids, what are you doing? It makes no sense to me. I like what you said about the future. It's really tempting, since they have told us it's a 3-part story. Here's the names of the 3 parts. Here's what's coming. And as much as we don't know who the last Titan is, we don't know how Midnight ends, we don't know any of those details, my brain, of course, goes to, but what's next? Yeah, but what's going to be, 14.0? Like, whoa, I don't know. Right?
Oh, my God.
So I can wait. I'm excited to find out what the last Titan is. I like having a little bit of insight, and ultimately I think when I become a grown up and I'm like, you can't just know everything now. It's exciting to know that they're thinking that far ahead and the story is connected and interlinked. And I feel like the World of Warcraft is in a really good place.
I agree. I'd say I would definitely strongly agree with that statement. There's so many awesome things going on and so many great cultural changes. And I know, like I've mentioned before, older player base. I've seen a lot of new players too. I've seen enough on the internet of for a while, this was probably a couple of years ago before they had delves as weekly activities and stuff. For a while I was stuck buying mythics to gear up, and the kids who were running me through mythics were 20 years old. So maybe that's just what they're doing. Maybe they're just grinding gold and kidding themselves out and mythic raiding and doing that kind of kid stuff. But they're definitely not everyone who plays the game is 40, 50 years old either. So that's nice. I think that they're striking a good balance between any sort of age discrepancies. I would say the one thing that's not so great still is chat, but I don't think you're ever going to be able to do anything about that. Just turn it off. Every time I look at chat, I'm like, you guys are gross. But that happens when I turn on the news, too. So I don't know. Things are just kind of gross right now in general. It's I don't want to hear it. I get all the podcasts about everything else that's going on everywhere else. We don't need to go into it. But, I don't need to see it in chat either. So chat gets turned off a lot. But, other than that, I feel like WoW's in a good place. Socially, I think the game is fun. I think it's in a really, really good place.
Well, it looks like our time in the solo queue is up for this month. A huge thanks to my friend Gershom for joining me yet again to talk about Warcraft and all that's going on. What is next in game for you, Gershom? What are you hopping into?
I need to go figure out what the fuck Zul'jin is looking at over. I need to go get myself thrown out the fog immediately and see what all that. No, for real. I am going to go back and quest a lot. I'm going to do this campaign. I need to get to 90. I'm like 83 and a half. So yeah, this game is going to be holding a lot for me to do. I'm definitely going to go. Oh, and I need to go start Aronaar. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do in game. Go start Aronaar and go get thrown out of the fog.
Nice. Yeah, I need to continue my questing journey and get through this campaign as well. All the music that you hear in the show, of course, is the amazing work by those awesome people at Blizzard. Hashtag don't play muted. Come on. The music bookending the show is by my real friends in the doom metal band Ogre, and right before I sat down, I got a text announcing they just booked a show for mid-May. So stay tuned. More info coming soon on the next chance to catch Ogre live in Portland, Maine. I will let you know. I want to thank everyone who made this episode possible. Certainly Gershom for joining me again. My lovely and supportive and still healing wife. My goodness. I want to thank the good folks over at Podbean who do host Solo Q. And I have to give a big shout out to the members of the Solo crew, all those Patreon supporters. A big heartfelt thanks to Andrew, Righteous Bandy, ThatSkyGuy, Sin, Snek of Voldun, John, Scott, Jeru, Raven, Greybeard, Case, Pasta Matt, Luch, and welcome to the Solo crew, Rack. They support the show at patreon.com/soloqwow, and their contributions have helped pay for upgrades to the Solo Q Discord server, and they help keep this show coming to you. And since the start of 2026, I would like to welcome the following supporters to the free tier on Patreon: Denethar, TheChampZ, Michelle, Donald, and AggroManagement. Thank you for that support. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all the rest of the places. Ratings, reviews, all that stuff just helps keep this show growing, and it is, and it's super exciting to see. Hey Gershom, if people want to follow you and the podcast Thrall's Balls, where can they find all of that stuff?
So we have a link tree at thrallsballs.com. You can hit that and that'll give you the links to, I think, most of our socials and definitely to our Discord. We release new episodes every Tuesday morning. They drop automatically at, I think, like 5:30 or 6 a.m. If there's ever an issue, we'll able to get in the Discord and say what's wrong or when it's coming out or something like that. And so then me personally, you can find me. I still use the Dumpster Fire, formerly known as Twitter. Here and there, I'm Hunter Gershom, all one word, Gershom. And then I have the same Instagram handle, but it's Hunter Gershom with 2 R's in Gershom. And then that's pretty much where I'm at right now. I'm mostly active in the Discord. I find like the internet's a little weird lately, throwing my pictures out, my opinions out there. It is what it is. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And thank you so much again for having me. This has been... It's always so incredible. It's like getting together with like really the oldest of friends. You're a consummate host. I'm sorry my tech took a shit on your head.
Well, I think the understatement of the year is the internet is garbage. So there you go. And it is always fantastic to have you here. So thank you. Yeah. Hey, remember... the season 1, all of that stuff is coming soon, and if you are up for all of that stuff, enjoy. Good luck to you. We can certainly talk about all of that next time we hop into the solo queue. So for me, for Gershom, thanks for hanging out, and we will see you out there.